Hello guys and welcome to a new video. Since then we've reached 1000 subscribers on here, so thank you very much for that. And before we start, I want to mention the fact that with the current Twitter limitations in place, people are getting capped on the amount of tweets they can view each day. If you have that issue, you can join my free Telegram, which is linked below, which I share my tweets in with the screenshot attached. So even if you're limited, you can still view my tweets. Besides that, I want to say thank you to my friends at Coin Market Manager. They have built a very useful journaling tool and also a tool where you can manage your trades and really find out where your strengths and your weaknesses are. So check them out as well. There's a free trial if you sign up. And besides that, thank you to Bybit and Prime XBT, which are the exchanges I use for trading. All right, let's get into it. So BTC, obviously we had this huge run up like a week or two ago right now. And since then we've kind of been capped between 29.5 and 31K roughly. So I'm keeping it simple. I do see this range. From yesterday, there's still a tiny gap open at 30.4k or so, but could be disregarded, I think. What I'm expecting this week for BTC, not too much, to be fair. I do think after all the volatility last week, with like the SEC ETF thing, which I don't think is like a big issue, but it did kill the momentum a bit. I would think it makes sense to range for a week or so longer here, while I'll try and do some catching up. There's gonna be some nice rallies, I think, in alts if BTC just hangs around this region. So I do think that's basically what we're gonna see this week. Not too much action in terms of BTC. I could be wrong, of course, but in that case, the main levels I am watching are the range high, mid range, and range low to give an estimate of the direction where we're going. Obviously, if we start breaking above like 31 or 31.4 here, I am expecting further continuation up, but until then I think some sideways chop and ranging here makes sense, because there's also been a lot of open interest that has been lost here during this nuke and following bounce. So right now there's not really too much crowding going on towards one side, so yeah, I think some sideways makes sense. Then on Bitcoin dominance, which is interesting because upon breaching this range high, we were eyeing the 52% area, which now we've bounced off perfectly, in fact, and we're now going down a bit. And this is confirmed by ETH now also bouncing from the bottom of this wedge. Whether this is the bottom and also the top on Bitcoin dominance, I'm not so sure. For that to be confirmed for me, we would have to find acceptance back into this range, upon which we can see further downside. But until then, I think ETH might bounce a bit higher. I would mostly get interested upon it breaking out of this falling wedge here, or going back to the range lows down here to really transition some more BTC into ETH. Right now, for me, it's a bit in the middle of nowhere, and I would want to see some strength here or a sweep and hold around this region. And then for a nice play we've had in the past 2 weeks, we bought Libra and PENDLE in the premium group in the Hounds, which were later, like a day or two later, were also shared in my public Telegram. And since then, they've gone on an absolute tear. Obviously, today, PENDLE was announced to be listed on Binance, so that's pretty nice. And that makes for over almost 130% return on this. So these are LSDFi coins, which is how they are categorized. So this is basically another way to gain yield on your staked ETH, stuff like that. So it's basically another layer on top of the liquid staking derivative, which we already know of, but it's still a relatively small sector. So I do think still that coins like these do have some room to grow. Obviously, we just had like a huge listing pump, so be careful with these kind of things. But overall, the sector is still quite small. I think there's about 600 or 700 million total value locked into these, compared to the, I don't know, 20, 30 billion in ETH that's staked in things like Lido, stuff like that. So I think there's still some market share to be gained, but yeah, interesting stuff. And then lastly, the coin that's on my radar is APE. Not really because it's look that bullish per se, but in case you haven't noticed, the NFTs, mainly the blue chips or like any NFT in general, have been getting butchered the last 2 weeks, and for much more time before that as well. So things like Bored Apes went down like anywhere from 30 to 50% in just a few weeks alone. But since then, like for the past few weeks, the ApeCoin itself has been stable. So that's showing some relative strength where you would have expected weakness if the underlying collection went down that much. So that's why I'm keeping an eye on this and seeing if it can break through this lower time frame consolidation, and in the end, this huge falling wedge, which is pretty clean to me. Like, I would not be surprised. We've seen things like this before, where all of a sudden maybe the collection pumps because some will or fund or whatever they accumulated enough, and they just get the floor up by buying an X amount. And I could easily see ApeCoin follow it. Obviously, we want to see some confirmation, but usually upon breaking these kind of very long-term falling wedges, you tend to see like a quite of a vertical move up. Whether we can see the breakout and whether that is the follow-through we'll get, we'll have to wait and see. But it was something that was interesting to me, and I wanted to shine some light on. So that's basically it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. As always, check out all the links below. Check out the Telegram, the partners, and always please give any suggestions on anything you want to see or coins you want me to mention. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, good luck out there. I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.